Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
And we give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite sports icons and athletes. I'm Boom Gonzalez, and in tonight's game plan, we'll speak to Filipino pole vault sensation EJ Obiena as he makes a quick stop in our home soil before locking in for the Paris Olympics.
And we'll talk to the San Miguel Beermen 3x3 squad about their thrilling win to take the PBA 3x3 Leg 4 title. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. EJ Obiena has been the country's pride in pole vault, and he has been spending some time giving back to his roots. Now let's find out what EJ has been up to tonight, and we are honored here on the game as EJ Obiena joins us live here in the studio.
Yay,
EJ, first of all,
yay.
I'm so happy you're here. Great to see you. You are the busiest guy I know in the past few weeks. It's crazy. First of all, how did it feel coming back to the Philippines? How was it? And have your feelings or expectations on the way here match what you've experienced so far?
Oh no, it's exceeded it. I mean, I never expected everything that's been happening to me this past few weeks, and yeah, it's been a bit overwhelming. And yeah, this change is definitely new to me.
What has surprised you the most about the fan support? I know you said it's overwhelming, but what specifically surprised you about it?
That people do recognize me in the street. Yeah, that's something new. Definitely something that I never experienced.
I heard about a story that somebody tried to pull you from a boat or something like that because they recognized you. Is that true?
Yeah, someone grabbed the kayak and I was like, we were paddling literally, and then she was running and like, hold it and like, can we have a photo? But that was cute. That was cute.
Yeah, but you gave the photo though, right?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
all right. Just to make sure.
So nice of you. So
Yeah,
good of you.
Absolutely. One of the things that I love about what you're doing here is that you're trying to promote the sport, right? Trying to get grassroots pole vaulting going, and that is something that would spur the growth of sport here in the Philippines. Now, one, why is it so important to you to actually do that? And two, how have you inspired the young ones in your mind already? Because I'm sure you've met a lot of the young wannabe EJ Obienas.
Well, for me, the sport has given me a lot, so I want to hopefully share that experience to the other kids. And you know, that's my part of giving back to what the sport has given me. You know, it changed my life. I've traveled across the world competing, and I think that's a really fun experience that I hope, you know, some other Filipino people, some other athletes out there would be able to experience and, you know, do.
The changes in your life are not done yet. I'm sure there's still
geez.
more coming. But okay, I want to stay on that for a while. It is tough though. Let's be realistic. You are obviously inspiring a lot of youngsters in terms of the sport. But how do they start? How do they start in this sport? This is not basketball, volleyball, football. Easier way to get into it, I would suppose. Easier. There's so many also people who are into it, and so many role models. You are, you know, one of just a few that we have here in the Philippines, and you're obviously the most successful. And that is something that you're trying to use. But how you know, what's the challenge in terms of really getting them into the sport?
I think the biggest challenge in our country is the access to facilities. It's quite tough. It's not that easy to find a place where you can actually do pole vaulting safely.
Right.
And yeah, that's why my goal is really to promote track and field itself.
Yeah.
Because I think, you know, kids get into running. That's my gateway. Okay, if they want to get interested into track, they'll find a way to get into pole vault and hopefully just, you know, get as much talent as we have. And I think to keep this, I would say, the golden era of Philippine sports.
You know, it's crazy because I remember you saying in an interview that you've done pole vaulting clinics overseas.
Yep.
And it's a travesty that here was a different story.
I agree. And yeah, when I was doing that, I was like, I want to bring this back home. But I'm thinking, where can I do this? And who's going to fund all of these things? And how exactly am I going to organize this? And yeah, it's quite unfortunate. I kind of felt sad, but I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy that I'm able to partner with UBS and let me handle the, you know, kids in Switzerland and be able to train at least like 50 kids. And it was a fun experience. But at the same time, kind of feel sad that I hope that the first clinic I would ever do in my
Right,
life would be
right,
here,
right.
Yeah.
in my home country. So that's the experience of that.
Hey, but it's still open. We're still hoping for that
Yeah, oh, yeah,
to
for
happen.
sure.
Definitely,
Yes, for
definitely.
sure.
Okay, let's talk about the tournaments you've been. It's been great momentum, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, the SEA Games, the European tournaments, the golds, the silver, the bronze. What has carried this momentum for you? There seems to be a little bit of a surge for you. And does it have anything to do with probably a burden off your chest from the controversies and all of that?
I mean, that's part of that.
Okay.
I knew going in that I can maintain the ranking that I want to hit, or at least get it a bit higher than where I'm at now. But because of the indoor season, missing the World Indoor Championship, it's a big hit to my points. Therefore, I need to do as much as I can, win as much of these tournaments as I can, to really collect as much points as I can to be able to maintain my ranking at the end of the year. Fortunately, I was able to do that, though I was not able to achieve what I wanted to achieve, or at least could have, if I was able to do that World Indoor Championship.
I remember I was a bit worried because at the start of your season, you had a bit of controversy, an injury operation. You had to get right.
Meniscus tear,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And all of a sudden, here you are. You found a way to beat arguably the Michael Jordan of the sport, Armando Duplantis. Let's be clear for those who don't know. That guy can fly, and
yes.
you managed to get a gold over him.
Right.
Can you talk a bit about what you've seen from yourself this season? Because that's going to be really important building up to what you want to do in 2024.
I mean, I think the accumulation of all the trainings I've done in the past it's now time. As my coach was saying during controversy, these are the years that we're supposed to get the hard work that we've done in the past 5 years. And I think it's just reflecting now, and it's showing a bit of what we've done. And I hope it's just the start of something good and amazing in the next few years. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
EJ, I haven't seen you since Tokyo, so I'm so happy that I'll have you here for another segment here. Because after the break, EJ Obiena's not going. In fact, we will continue our conversation with Filipino pole vault sensation EJ Obiena. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game.
Welcome back. You're still watching The Game. And we're still with multi-awarded pole vaulter and Olympian EJ Obiena here in the studio. Thanks for hanging out with us, EJ, tonight. All right, let's talk about takeaways just real quick. First with the Tokyo Olympics. You were there. Obviously, the goal is 2024 also. What are the learnings from the last stint in the Olympics?
Oh, it's a big stage. It's a really big one. Can get into your nerves, and yeah, you need to be as prepared as you can be. It doesn't really matter what competitions you had before. Olympics is something else.
It's funny because just we were actually celebrating a World Mental Health Day the other day, and a lot of athletes do go through a bit of that mental struggle, and that particular stage really puts the limelight on you, puts you under the microscope. Do you feel that mentally you'll be able to really develop that type of psyche just to be as ruthless as you want to be going into the next Olympics?
I think that the experience of Tokyo definitely made me a better athlete for sure, and I hope that I'll be able to manifest everything that I need to going into Paris.
Are you still working with a sports psychologist?
Yes.
Actively? Okay.
Yeah, with Dr. Cheryl Katsuga.
Okay. All right. Speaking of Paris, what will it take? Are we talking about, is there a point system? Are we talking about a number that you have to hit? Are we talking about a number of tournaments or a height that, what are we talking about to make it to 2024?
I mean, I'm waiting for the standard. It depends on World Athletics, on what exactly is the height that we need to hit.
Oh, okay.
But then there's the other way, which is by rankings.
So I was about to say, does ranking come into play here?
Yeah.
So nice.
they pull in 34 athletes for Paris. So they'll take the people who qualified by automatic standard, which is the height, and then they'll take the rest from the rankings.
The height that they will still set.
Yeah.
That is not yet set.
All right. So speaking of height,
Oy.
so 6. The number 6 for pole vaulting is special.
Obsession ba?
Yeah. Can you explain to us, first of all, why it is such an important mark? And 2, can you hit it?
There's a few people who can say that they went over
20
6 meters.
plus, right? 20
yeah,
plus
20
people,
plus,
right?
in the
Only?
history of the sport.
Yeah.
And it's quite an achievement. It cements your name in the history book as one of the best. Not just, the best at that time, one of the best ever done it.
Right.
And yeah, that's one of the reasons why I want to do it. And if I can, I do believe I can. It helped that, I soared over it in the World Championship during the jump in 594. With their analysis, they said the nearest body part of mine, or the lowest peak, was around
over
like 601. So
Okay.
that means if the bar was at 6, I shouldn't have touched it.
Right.
So yeah, that's a confidence booster, but still, yet again, I still need to have to conquer that mental barrier. 6 meters, set there, jump it, and leave it up there.
Okay, so I want to stick with that just real quick. You said, and you mentioned the mental barrier, you mentioned the number. What will it take? Is it a mental part of it? There's a physical part of it for sure.
Yeah.
Is there a technique skill part of it also that you still have to tweak to get to that? Or is this is just a mental thing? Take us through that.
Right now I know I can do it. Of course, it would be better if I can improve my technique and really move forward and progress on how consistent I could be in the higher heights. But for me, it would take, I think, a good competition. A decent one doesn't need to be a perfect condition, but needs to be good, needs to be able to push me to that level. And, as I said, the way I approach the game is to win. If it's 6 meters, what's going to take? And that means I'm going to push myself to jump 6 meters.
We're watching right now a couple of highlights that you posted yourself, so I'm going to assume these are very curated because you look amazing there, EJ. But EJ, when you look at the amount of, the ramp up, because last year, a bit stop-start, again, controversy, injury. Now you're going to go into the season with a more full off-season. Do you feel that, considering what you had to go through last time around, that you have to set the bar even higher for you now that you are gonna have a smoother preparation, or at least anticipate smoother preparation going into this one?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping this time there's not gonna be a controversy up ahead, and I hope I can stay healthy going forward. And I'm looking forward to what Vitaly has in mind for the upcoming season, because there's there's a lot of major championship coming.
Have you processed that? Because I was thinking about this today. Like, you mentioned it and you touched on it. You talk about the meniscus tear, so
Yeah.
there's injury. You talk about the controversy, the expulsion. There was a time that you didn't even know whether you were going to compete still
Yep.
or be part of a team. COVID, I think, hit you, if I'm not mistaken. And then the injuries. Being separated from family for what? Almost, was it over 3 years?
Yeah.
Basically. When I think about all of that compounding, EJ, I think that is the most impressive part of it all. That you have this momentum and all of these medals, and from the Southeast Asian Games. And how were you able to overcome all of that I've mentioned? Did you even think about it in that way?
I've actually not think about it that way, but
I'm sorry to put it that way.
no,
pala.
but I mean, I have a good team.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest thing, and I think I've been very blessed on how the things unfolded, because there's a lot of things that could have and really could have went wrong, and I'm really just blessed that there's a guiding being that's
course.
keeping me on track and
Yeah.
letting me meet people that are helping me out and really making sure that I'm able to do what I need to do.
A lot of people forget that in the individual sports, there's still a huge team
Yeah.
helping you out and really pushing you to be what you want to be or what you can be. And when you look at the team that you've come up with, can you take us through the process of actually being able to bring these people in, being able to trust these people, and being able to build that camaraderie and basically putting faith in each other.
That's what's funny. I never built them. It was just came about in each turn of events. It's like I never planned to meet Vitaly Petrov.
Right.
I was dropped there and I met him, and then he decided he wants to take me. My physio, never knew him. He was a son of another physio, and then suddenly we clicked. We were young, he's young, and we clicked, but the way he works has been nothing short of amazing. And then when I had a back problem, suddenly there's a osteopath around the area, which is a city away, that I've met and had a checkup, and suddenly I felt better, and now he's my osteopath. And my psychologist was just introduced by Jim Lafferty, and for some reason she happens to be a Filipino, studied in UP, went to Johns Hopkins. And I'm just like, well, this works, and we won our first championship in 2019. And yeah, this team that I have, especially the core team, I've never planned to have these people.
And it's amazing that they could bring it all together.
No, you didn't build the team. You attracted the
Yeah.
team. That's what it is, EJ. And we appreciate your time. I said this to you off the air earlier. I know it's been a busy stint that you've had here in the Philippines. You're barely awake. You're barely walking. But it's not just us. We appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody who has talked to you throughout this whole tour really appreciates the time that you've spent with us.
Oh,
stay strong,
thank
man,
you.
and
Yeah.
all the best to you.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
I know you're asleep
Thank you.
right now,
Yeah.
but still, really
No.
appreciate
Yeah.
it.
I'm very awake. You guys have a lot of energy, so need to keep up.
All right. Thank
Salamat,
you, AJ.
salamat.
Salamat.
God
Thank you.
bless you,
Thank
man.
you.
After the break, we'll talk to the San Miguel Beerman 3x3 squad about their thrilling win to take the PBA 3x3 Leg 4 title. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. back to the game. Now let's shift over to the PBA 3x3 where the San Miguel Beermen pulled off an incredible comeback to take the fourth leg title against the TNT Tropang Giga. Let's welcome to the game the comeback kings, Big Ken Bono, Ino Comboy, Jeff Manday, and Rafi Verano. Champs,
What? More winners?
welcome to the game!
We got more winners on the show?
Absolutely. Winners only champions night here.
Wow.
Simulan muna natin kay Ken kasi grabe yung ginawa ni Ken Bono. First of all, Ken was incredible in that final game. Two of the biggest shots, one to force overtime and one to hit the win. Unang-una, Ken, grabe yung resilience ng team ninyo. Ano nangyari? Ba't ka nag-take over sa huli? Kasi grabe yung ginawa mo.
Siguro never lang kami nag-give up. Yung effort namin nandun. Tsaka yung as in talaga never lang kami nag-give up. As in yun talaga.
Alright, so
We lost.
we lost yung audio mo, Ken. Sorry, ha.
7 points.
Ayan.
Ayun, no, it's back,
Laban pa
it's
rin
back.
kami.
Sorry, Ken, your audio went out for a bit, but syempre we'll get back to you in just a while and as we get that fixed. Pero sinabi mo nga, the comeback was real kasi 20-13 down ng San Miguel in that final. Jeff, ano nangyari doon? Anong masasabi mo sa team mo, especially coming back from 13-20 down against TNT sa final?
Siguro, nag-work kami as a team and then nag-work kami as one page. And one game at a time na kami lagi. Yun yung instruction ni coach para sa amin. Para magawa namin yung game.
All right, Rafi, I gotta ask you, correct me if I'm wrong, this is your first time to do this, right? Coming from, 5-on-5, coming from the UAP. And if it is, tell me about the experience and then tell me about, doing it this way and winning again. You are so used to winning already. And then this happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's my first time, playing 3-on-3, especially as the PBA.
Right.
Very different, very fast and physical game, fast-paced game. Like you said, Sir Boom, I'm used to, 5-on-5 and coming from Ateneo and, winning leg 4, just prove, that we can all work together no matter what we're playing, 3x3 or 5x5. Mm-hmm. And it's tough. The transition was huge for me. I mean, it's the first leg I had a real hard time adjusting. But thankfully, my teammates were there for me, helping me adjust more often during practice and, in the games, boosting up my confidence. Because it's a whole different feel from 5x5.
Right.
100%. And ito naman, Ino, kasi grabe yung, as I mentioned a while ago, down 20-13. And obviously, defense had to play a big part in that win kasi syempre, you couldn't have let TNT score towards the end. Anong masasabi mo sa depensa ninyo sa run na yon, sa 20-13 na deficit ninyo?
Para sa akin kasi we've been sa situation na ganun. Yung leg 2 versus Cavitex. Nangyari rin yun, 2013 din. Then nakahabol kami ng 19, pero natalo pa rin kami sa huli. So, after nung nag-timeout kami, nung nag-20 na sila, na-recall ko yung game namin versus Cavitex. So sabi ko, di tayo pwedeng matalo dito. Kakayanin natin tong di sila makascore, ganyan. And lahat naman kami nag-step up, lahat nagbigay ng best nila para yun nga, mahabol namin yung TNT na meron pang Vosotros na sobrang deadly sa offense. So talagang di lang talaga nag-give up, sabi nga ni Kuya Ken. So ayun, sobrang blessed din kami na binigay rin sa amin ni Lord yung panalo.
Okay, Ken, sinabi mo hindi kayo nag-give up. Pero pwede natin aminin at tatanungin kita ng seryoso. Meron ba sa punto na yon na down 7 with 3 minutes, iba yung 5-on-5, iba yung 3x3, pero meron ba sa punto na yon na nagduda ka ng konti man lang, kaya pa ba to? Naku, delikado na to. Hindi ka ba napaganon kahit saglit? Lalo na TNT yung kalaban, multi-titled.
I think yung nung umiscore nung 13-20, medyo kahit pa paano nawalan din pag-asa. Pero yung sabi nga ni Wendell, hanggat hindi pa natatapos yung time, laban lang, one possession at a time, kaya nating habulin to. So yun nga, nag-overtime na bigyan kami ng pagkakataon.
Oo nga, grabe talaga yun.
At least tinamin niya. Kahit pa paano.
That's what I like about Ken eh.
Kahit
Honest
paano.
siya eh. Honest talaga si Ken eh. But yeah, with that note, syempre Ken, you were the hero at the end with the biggest shots of the game. So I'm gonna leave you here with the last question. Siyempre, anong kailangan yung improve moving forward? Kasi, grabe, going down 13-20 twice already this season, siguro I'm going to assume is something you don't want to repeat over and over again. Kasi grabe yung mga ginagawa ninyo. Ken?
I think yung unang-una, papracticein namin siguro yung defense namin. Kung paano namin, actually sa pick and roll kami medyo nahihirapan. So, yun yung everyday naman namin na pinapractice. So, yung pinaka-importante talaga sa amin, kasi yung sinasabi ni coach sa amin, hindi kami mawala sa top 4.
Yeah.
Yun talaga yung sinasabi sa para pagdating ng grand finals, automatic na sa quarters kami para.
And now third kayo overall. Tama sa ating standings.
All right, gentlemen. Maraming salamat. Thank you very much for joining us here.
What a comeback!
Again. Oh,
What a comeback!
Thank you
Sana
guys.
mas komportable yung susunod. But let's see whether or not that can happen. Ladies and gentlemen, Ken Bono, Ino Comboy, Jeff Manday, and Rafi Verano of the San Miguel Beerman 3x3. Maraming salamat, and hopefully you have a great next leg.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us, guys, and thank you for watching us tonight. I'm Boom Gonzalez.
And I'm Paulo De Rosario. This has been The Game.